one small business owner right now, because this is going to have a big effect, as I was just saying while we went to break, on small business owners, people who say that Obamacare really was just a disaster for their companies. I'm joined right now by Butch Yamali, president of Dover Group, which owns a number of successful catering halls, restaurants, and businesses in this area. He joins me right now. Good to have you here. Welcome. Big day. Your reaction?
So encouraging. Now we finally have a chance to repeal this nightmare. It's terrible.
Why is it so terrible? Why and how might this be different for you?
Well, any change is better. Right now, what's going on is my staff thinks I'm giving them terrible health care. They think it because their deductible is so high, care is so low, that's my fault. And I offer the best one that they have on the, on the market, but it's still terrible.
It's still terrible.
It's horrible.
Tell me about how it affects you as a small business owner when the government's saying you got to offer this, or you got to reduce hours, or you got to reduce head count. I mean, how do you grow? How do you expand when you've got this regulation hanging over your head?
Well, you're scared to grow because now you have to add staff on. If you add too much staff on, now you're faced with giving them health care. If you give them health care, they hate the health care, so that's another headache. Big expense on that side. Now there's the ACA, the compliance rule, that the employer has to comply with the government and give them their forms at the end of the year. We have to hire yet another company to do this compliance task, and nobody really knows what to do.
So this is the law of unintended consequences. I mean, they thought, isn't this great? We're going to make sure that small business owners have everybody covered.
Terrible.
And yet the flip side of it is small business owners don't want to grow, don't want to expand, don't want to have to actually pay this out because it's a heavy-duty tax. When you think about that, I mean, what does it mean for your bottom line with Obamacare? How much of a hit can it be?
First of all, we had to close things down that are marginal because we didn't want to have anything like a marginal party or an event or something that we would normally do. We stopped it because we didn't want to add more to the staffing. Scheduling is a nightmare because you want to put more people on, part-time, so you don't have a lot of the full-time advocates. You're slowing down your hiring, and at the end of the day, it's knocking off your bottom line because you have to pay so much more money for people that don't even want this health care. They're still going to the clinics.
I want to go to the live picture right now of Capitol Hill, if you guys can bring that up for us. We see there some buses outside taking Republicans over perhaps to the White House. There you go. Big day for them, a big day for Republicans, a big day for Paul Ryan, a big day for the president, who was just moments ago tweeting that they were going to have a victory round there in the Rose Garden after this went through. They got the votes they needed, and now the work begins, because one would imagine there's going to be some changes made. But for the small business community, and I'm joined by Butch Yamali, who runs some catering halls in this area, for the small business community, they are considering this, and they hope it goes through to the Senate, indeed a win, because it means it frees you up to grow what you have started.
Sure, we want to hire people. We want to offer more jobs. We want to be able to give raises and put people on full-time. We can't do that now. We're always watching everything because somebody's watching us. It's like over your shoulder. What's the next law that Obama was going to give us?
Did you feel that Donald Trump would really change things? I mean, as a business owner, all other things aside.
I love what he did because Donald Trump is a businessman himself, and he surrounded himself with businessmen. So not the people that talk about business or learned about it. These are people who actually were in business. They had their own businesses, so they understand the trials of opening something up and expenses and everything else. The other ones, they're going by theory. Theory doesn't matter. It's out the window when it's with business.
Have you seen that businessman sensibility on display yet, as much as you want?
Well, he's a little bit gung-ho, but I know that's going to come out of it.
But that's part of being a businessman, too, right?
Yeah, it is, it is. He wants to get his way, and that's how businessmen are. And he understands business. He has probably more employees than most people in a small little country. But besides that, he knows what you need to do. He knows what you need to grow. And when you grow a business, there'll be more money on the street. There's more money out there for people to spend.
All right, I just want to remind the viewer, waiting on Donald Trump, who is waiting on the Republicans, who are making their way, as I speak, to the White House right now. You just saw the bus taking off from Capitol Hill, bringing them over there. They are getting ready for a big party there. We can anticipate that the president will have some comments that he'll want to make. 217 to 213. That was the vote. They needed 216. They got all the votes they needed. They said they had them. They said it would be Wednesday. There was some skepticism out there, wondering whether or not they really could get this done. In fact, they did. So now, moving on to the Senate. The key here, though, is it's setting the stage for tax reform. So it's important, as Butch says, for small business owners. in that now if this goes through, hopefully we'll have less to worry about and ability to grow their business. But then it's also enabling the country to move forward to work towards corporate tax reform, individual tax reform, and this will be a big savings for the country, for the nation. Butch, it's good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
You know, we'll see what happens.
We can only hope, but it's very encouraging. Everybody should be very happy out there.